Hey guys, and welcome to a stream of Skievers Plays the Stanley Parable. I thought we'd do something different tonight, and it would just be me streaming on my own. Sharky is at tennis, and Novak is currently asleep. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I have some sad news to begin the stream though. Novak is unable to play co-op on his computer. So unfortunately, there will be no co-op for Novak and I. And actually, in fact, saying that, we did actually recently find out too that Portal Co-op is actually no longer playable at all, based on some licensing or something. I can't quite remember the exact reasoning, but yeah, because of that, and I think you could only play it when it first came out, but yeah, co-op is no longer available to be played at all, so we have been trying to think of other games we can play together, because a lot of the games that are on Steam that are multiplayer, but that are not multiplayer, just a lot of the games that are on Steam cannot be played on a MacBook, and that's what Novak has, so unfortunately that rules a lot of stuff out, but at this stage we'll probably play some more Minecraft together, and we also are planning to play probably RuneScape and maybe even MapleStory, but at this rate we're looking at probably playing RuneScape, which you can play through a browser, so and the same with MapleStory. So at this stage, that's the plan, and we'll see how we go. So we're going to start the Stanley Parable now. I will try to remember some things. I played this quite a while ago. I've only played it once, and I've seen it played by people like MatPat and maybe even Markiplier. I can't remember. I'm sure there was someone else who I watched play it apart from MatPat. So yeah, we'll go from there and we'll see how we go. I'm just going to pause for a second and turn the fan on here because it is a bit warm here in Australia. So if you'll just excuse me for a minute, I shall be back. Okay, I'm back. I don't think there's any real mature content. We'll see how we go, and we'll see what pops into my brain as discussion points along the way. I know Novak said he was going to watch this later on, so hello Novak from the past. Hello future Novak. I hope you enjoy the stream. This will be similar to the Yuri Parable in the sense that the Yuri Parable is a mashup of this game and also Doki Doki Literature Club. If you haven't seen the Yuri Parable, I suggest you go and watch it after you watch this stream. Because as I said, I played it not that long ago. I played it for Valentine's Day. Sharky set it up for me. And yeah, it was based off of this game, which I played a long time ago. So we'll just see how we go. I can't remember how many endings there are in this. There are a lot. There are a lot more than in the Yuri Parable. So we'll just see how many we get. So let's begin the game. There will be a lot of narration, so I will try not to talk during the narration.
Of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push. how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-lending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I believe one of the things is to turn all the monitors off that are on. That's one of the achievements. I believe that unlocks hidden things. The graphics are a little bit glitchy.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, in typical Skievers fashion, I can't follow the rules, so let's go to the door on the right and see what happens.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
And I believe if we stay here a bit longer, it's going to save them.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah, I believe if we...
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Yeah, I believe like the longer you stay
Stanley
in...
sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Oh, that's so good. I love it when games are like fourth wall breaky. Like... I don't know that there will be anything else, so let's keep going and see what...
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the
can't go
first
back.
open door on his left to get back to business.
Well, you know what that means, that we have to just keep going and ignore.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I feel like the narrator sounds like a little bit like a sassy, oh, who is the guy from, like, Novak is going to be really upset with me, because he watches this show all the time and he's obsessed with this show. But the guy from QI, the host, Stephen Fry. He sort of sounds a bit like a sassy Stephen Fry. Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. So there you go. What else is there? Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for the misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping from the cargo lift, $5,000. Well,
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
alright, let's
There's
jump from
someone
the
you've
cargo
been
bay.
neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Thank you, that's what I thought. So, the death count, I should have got Sharky to set this up. But I'll keep a note here. But the death count is at 1. 1 death. Aha. Ma. In my terrible count from Sesame Street accent. So, death count. DATH. DEATH. In fact, I wrote it correctly. I just spelled it incorrectly. And Novak is gonna laugh at me so hard. Death count 1. So it's just like, so we've been reading Harry Potter together. I've been reading it. I enjoy reading, and I enjoy reading aloud. And the amount of times, poor Hedwig, I just cannot say her name. Like, literally.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Like, literally, poor Hedwig. I call her Hegwid, so I can't even say the incorrect way now. I call her Hegwid so many times, and I literally just cannot get her name right. Poor Hedwig. And she rests in peace. Alright, let's keep turning off the monitors because I know that's one of the things. Input received, eh? What kind of input? Okay, so we'll
When
continue.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
We'll just keep going the way we went before.
Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Oh, but you get it. You get my life. Yeah, so we'll continue the way we were before.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah, so we'll continue going this way, and next time we will...
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
And yeah, we will continue this way, and instead of
But
jumping
at
off...
last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Yeah, we'll continue on to the lift and continue and follow it across and see where we go from there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her? Alright, let me... Alright, so there's apparently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I think? So, let's continue and see. Oh, yes. The other thing we need to do is we need to jump down there as well.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
I don't like that this room is pitch black. Like, I don't know about y'all, but if this was a horror game, which I originally intended to play a horror game, but as soon as it opened, it crashed and it would not play, so that was disappointing. But the fact that this is pitch black, I don't like it. But let's do it anyway. Ooh, jeez.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay, so we can either answer it, or... let's unplug it.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
It is a back sack and crack. Oh my goodness, is that the time? Is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a
Making
back
choices
sack
on
and
a
crack.
regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Alright. Okay, so we're going back out here.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Okay, I don't think there's any other way we can go. We are going to come back. We'll answer the phone, and we're also going to come back and jump onto the platform. So I assume this is just going to take me all the way back to the start, and we'll just start again, or it'll go to some meaningful sort of start. I don't think we'll have any choice but to do it all the way at the start again.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
And again. Everything's like broken and backwards. I don't think... Whoa. Look at these officers. I don't think there's literally anything else I can do. Except go left now. Yeah, I'm not getting any extra dialogue. This way looks right, but...
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. still here in this pile of rubbish, with you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it?
Nope.
That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Yes, I am.
Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Oh, I
Is
see.
behaving.
Think.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I can't even see anything. I think, do I have to press begin the game again? I'm just gonna do that because nothing was happening. So I think that's right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, so let's go back and we
When
will
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So I would say that I've got 2 endings so far. Like, I died on the platform, and then I got that choice one where I had to watch that video of that choice. So I'll put down that I've done 2 endings, 1 death count.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So let's,
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
So this time, we will answer the phone and see what happens.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
And this is the same
Room
dialogue
so
as
utterly
before, so
captivating
just that
eager
first
to
one.
get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So let's keep continuing on for now. We'll go
Stanley
back
was so bad
over
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
and we'll
ago.
answer the phone this time.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on
And
the
then
wrong
at
foot
another
here.
point,
I'm not
we
your
will
enemy,
jump
really,
down
I'm
onto
not.
the
I realize that investing in your
the,
trust in someone else
the
can be
catwalk
difficult,
there.
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
So this would
Someone
be the
you've
point
forgotten
where,
about.
yeah, you would jump down there.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ugh, every time.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I don't know, like if we let it ring, is it just gonna stop ringing, or is it just gonna continually ring and we either have to pick it up or we have to unplug it? Let's just wait a bit longer and see. I think the only two options are to either unplug it or to pick it up. So, yeah. It looks like... yeah, the only choices... Alright, let's pick it up.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make
Wow.
a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Man, I tried.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Why? What if I don't want to? What if I press something else? Like I press E?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press 8. 8.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Press P.
But in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Creepy. What happened to the lounge? Press R to
And
watch
so he
it.
began to
Okay.
fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press O to spend some time with the boys. The boys! Is it O or is it 0? I think it's 0.
So he
It is
went
0.
further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press U to prepare dinner. Ew.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Spoiler alert, that is the levels that you get, so. Press O to tell your kids a story. O or 0 again? I press 0 again. Okay, it's not 0 this time. It is actually
It was
O.
such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press Q to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer.
Oh,
How could
she's
there possibly
disappeared.
be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press 8 to go to sleep. I bet once we go to sleep that door's going to change.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
This is 427, and that's what number we are, and that's our desk and our computer, so, I want to do it, but I also want to leave and see what happens. I'm going to do it. Pressing the button now.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Oh.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
Okay. Alright, so I would say that would be our third ending. And our death count is still at 1? I don't know if that one counted as death, because it did say, I mean, hence why I put the mature content thing up. It did say that the longer we stayed there, the more we were going to die. So, do we count that as a death? Or do we not count it as a death? I don't really know. I don't know. We definitely count it as an ending, obviously. So we could just we'll just see. We'll just keep going. I won't count it as a death. But I've put it down as an ending. So let's keep going. So this time, we answered the phone. So this time we will
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot.
apparently
It's
if you
part
stay
of the
here.
game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
Well, there you go. That just shows you that if you just stand there and do nothing, that's also something. So, what we'll do this time is we will, jump onto the catwalk and go that way. I don't think there's any other ways that we can go where we were, because we died, and then we went into the room and we pulled the plug of the phone, and then we also answered the phone, which led to the last scene. So let's keep going the wrong way.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's keep going. And we'll go again to the right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle.
Okay.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Okay, let's keep going.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
So I
foot
can
here.
see there's a door
I'm
open
not
up
your
there,
enemy,
and
really,
there
am I?
it's closed. So
I
when we
realize that investing in
jump,
your trust
we
in
might as well
someone
go
else can be
this way.
difficult. But the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Debatable. I don't know that I should give him a chance. Like, I think it will be a pass for me. Let's go and see what happens. So. Warning, do not stand on this side of the fence. Who's gonna stop me, hey? Let's see where we're going.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Right, let's go through the blue door.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope.
I still don't think we're communicating properly.
That's the blue door.
Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Okay then. Let's see what it is. Ooh, what is it?
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
Do you not think I put a
it
lot of time
was.
into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option.
Ho
This
ho!
already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Alright, let's go. Like, I don't know if it, like, I assume 5 is good and 1 is bad, so let's go 1. Let's
A
say it's bad.
one?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically
I'm
and
gonna
artistically, but a one?
take that off.
That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge.
No, it's not.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Ooh, the Stanley Parable. Worldwide leaderboard. In total, 91728 doors open. Doors attempted. Steps taken. Did you know that 21.3% of players skipped the intro segment? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blues door. And I'm there, right there. This is just like Portal all over again. Like, you know, like when GLaDOS like gives you backhand comments and stuff, and backhand like insults, and even insults to your face. So let's just go this way again and see what happens.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Let's say 1 again. Like, we'll give him bad reviews the whole time. See how
Hey,
we
I
can
nearly
make him.
forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it
Sure.
up.
Let's see what we got. And let's see what we got. Oh,
In this
man,
game,
it's a baby.
the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting
Cute
the
baby.
demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Put the spoiler alert up for ears. You might want to mute your ears. Right. We'll stop now. We'll just let the baby die.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
The latter of the
Because if it's
two,
the latter,
really.
well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I think there's some funny games in here. Like Minecraft, maybe? It's been a while since I played it. Yeah, Minecraft, yes!
Well, Stanley, is this any better?
Yes,
At last,
it
the
is.
one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
It would be
What
if
I'll
I
say
could actually
is,
jump.
I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes,
Are
it's
those?
complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy.
Bro, have you
But
seen
you've
my
only
house
seen
in
it from
Minecraft?
outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Why not? I
Isn't
don't,
it grand?
can't do anything else,
Isn't it
so.
perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We
Agreed.
have to go mining.
Yes, let's go.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Nope.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay,
Oh,
new
I can
game.
hear some monsters there. Oh, portal! Yeah, it's like...
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
This guy has just been watching all my streams, hey, because, like... First we had Minecraft.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
And now he's got portals.
Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games. And I highly...
Well. It's a bit dark. Oh, I don't know which way to go. Let's just go this way. Mm-hmm. There's security cameras in there. See, okay.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
So can I. So that is the 4th ending that I've gotten so far. 4 endings, 1 death. I believe if you actually do hit that baby for 4 hours, then you actually get another ending. I'm obviously not going to do that now. I'm probably never going to do it. I'll probably just look it up later on the
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, I'll probably just look it up and see what the ending is. Or if you press it for 4 hours, because the fact that he mentioned it means that surely it's got to be something. Alright, let's keep going.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
Right.
open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
So
and
we'll
Stanley
jump
knew it
off.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
And this time we'll go through the red door?
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Because I think
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
the only other ending this way, or the only
Look,
other
Stanley,
thing that
I
I
think
can think
perhaps
of,
we've
like
gotten off on
depending
the
on what
wrong
happens
foot
when you
here.
get to
I'm
the
not
red
your
door,
enemy, really, I'm not.
is
I realize
the
that
red door.
investing your trust
And
in
then
someone
going
else
through
can be
that,
difficult,
like
but
go
the
the wrong
fact
way
is
and
that
then
the
go through
story
that
has
door
been
and I'll
about
end there.
nothing but you all this time.
Because so far everything
There's someone you've
else...
been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I
Change
want
it
something
everywhere.
bad to happen to you? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Part of me wants to do it, but the other part of me wants to wait until it's the last option. Let's just keep going, so.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Okay, now let's
Stanley
go through the red door.
walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Yeah, this looks to be the
I
same.
wanted to stop.
The same place.
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Let's say this is obviously 5. So if we keep going around, yeah, it's just working. So let's go through here. Even though it's black and dark, let's see what we got.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Ooh. What's this way then? The light's just nothing? Alright.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we
It's
just
like-
stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
It's really beautiful in here. There's stairs to go down into another room. Wow, look at it. It's so beautiful. I wonder, can I jump off another direction? No, I tried. The only way I can go It's down here. Didn't mean to have the viewer discretion, guys. Alright. Let's go down here.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Where does it look like I'm going, bro?
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Okay, here we go.
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Let's go back
There.
down.
See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
I mean, it is really pretty out here, but let's go and see. We'll just see what else comes next. Darkness? Nothing? Okay. What about if I calm it down?
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Let's do it again.
No. No. What do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Oops. Oopsie. Right. Let's go again.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Well, let's do it again. Let's see if we go back out to the other room.
Perhaps you can.
Oh,
Perhaps you
yeah.
finally see what I'm talking about.
Look, it is beautiful. But let's keep going. If you
My
do this
God.
enough times,
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
viewer
Am I
discretion.
reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
I think that should be good. This is a different room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little. This made him smile. At last, proof that he was human. Yes, really. But eager to get back to business, Stanley
Alright,
took the first
so
open
let's
door on
actually
his left.
take this door now.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
And let's go down. Why not? So, I believe we've got 5 endings now. So we've got
But Stanley didn't
1,
want to go back to
2,
the office. He wanted
3,
to wander about and get even further off
4,
track. So now in order to
5.
get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Yeah. Literally have no choice but to go left.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Sure. It's not like I've got anything better to do with my
Let's
time.
see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Whoa.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
I'm not closing my eyes. Oh man.
We just have to get back to...
I can't even remember what I am.
Who am
427?
I kidding?
I think.
It's all rubbish now.
So
The whole
there's my
story
number over
completely
there.
unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story. I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on. You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Oh man,
This all sounds perfectly
guys,
doable.
I've been
Why don't
muted
we
for
simply
so
start wandering in,
long.
well, I don't know. How about this direction?
So all my comments about the adventure line have all been muted because I forgot to unmute. But yeah, I love how the adventure line just went up over the walls and everything. Like, that's just great to me. Great. So, let's continue to follow this one. Well, actually, no. This door, sorry. This storyline.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I'm acknowledging the line. Oh, man, I went up in the roof. That's disappointing. Where are we there?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one.
You know
Another
what
victory
that
for
means.
logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Oh, man, I literally have no choice but to go in the right door. That is rotted. Ooh, the confusion ending.
What's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? Whatever it is that made this schedule, how would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
What just happened? Alright. Looks like we have restarted
All of
again.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I mean, I think it's the same computers that are on every time. But I I'm gonna press it anyway.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I think if we go downstairs... then we just go to where we just were, which was the confusion ending.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh, yes.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Wow, that's a bit rude.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending?
The broom closet ending was my favourite.
I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
I'm going to put the viewer discretion.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I think this is the point where you actually have to step out in the hallway. I can't really remember. I know this is one of the endings.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
I think, I think that's all that we can do.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's go downstairs. So we've always got to do the opposite of what he says. Because why not? Why should we follow what he says?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
1, 2,
No,
3,
Stanley
4.
said to himself,
I've
this
written
is all
that down
too
just in
strange.
case.
This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief
Surely,
Stanley
in
felt
a
to have finally
near,
found an answer, an
we're going around
explanation.
in circles.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts. And when he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I think that's where we have to go now. Oh no, because... No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
It was there.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's go
And
there.
so he detoured through the maintenance section,
Let's
walked
keep
straight
going.
ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
And now... what's in here? Is that the door? The left door? I think it's the left door.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Don't get
disbelief,
fired.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside of you. Take it out passively aggressively on your coworker and then something else. Wonder if I go back in the broom closet.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
So let's make it another thing. Every time we come in here, I put another ending down and another death count because I was dead on the sidewalk. I want to take viewer discretion down again. But yeah, every time we come this way, let's go in that broom closet. Now let's go...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
Up.
his boss's office.
That was all we could do this down. I think was just... Down was just... You died. So let's go up and see what happens. Oh man, trying to use the executive bathroom. This is giving me like woodland mansion feels from Minecraft.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 4, 5.
Alright. Let's do it now.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
That's funny. It took so long that it actually started to do it itself. Alright. This definitely is giving me Portal feels.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Alright, let's see, here we go.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright, let's escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
It's better than being mind controlled.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
So, because we had her, does that mean, like, did we, so we actually died, but yeah, because we had her, does that mean that the narrator's voice was in our head all along? And because we died, we didn't have
And
the
yet it would be
narrator's
just a
voice?
few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back
Okay.
in his office, as alive as
Looks like
ever.
that as another
What
ending.
exactly did the narrator
And
think
also
he was going to
another
accomplish?
death. I love how, like, Fourth Wally this game is. Oh, what is this? This reminds me of another game that I played that is,
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
fancy. see down here? It's just an office desk. Some room. Button cells. Okay. The Stanley Parable credits. Written and designed by Davey Whedon and William Pooh. Additional level design, model design, original music. Let's go right first. Keeping with the right. Office clock. Boss's office. But I won't go up yet. Oh. Employee lounge. Underground. Mind control facility. We haven't been there yet.
See how it's impossible for the player to do anything.
No, we're not going in there yet. Alright, in a minute we'll go upstairs, but we'll go left first. Maintenance room. Ah, there's a photocopy there. The office. Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. That's interesting. These are screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to win. The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to lose. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check it for me? Danger. Can't see the images because of all this text. If someone could just get rid of this text, maybe then I could see what the game is about. Words. That's in a different language, and that is upside down, so. From Anthony W. Subject. What is this strange number? Could you tell me what the significance of number 1112800? From Pixel 6. Subject. Dear narrator. Dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Sincerely, Michael the Rock Martin. From Michael M. Subject. Some questions. 1. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? From Marius. Subject. A question brought forth by the intense passion of my soul. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? Something why? From James. Subject. Love the game. Greetings, omnipotent voice. Wanted to tell you I like the Stanley Parable as much as I like seeing a humorously small badger in swimming trunks. Question from someone. Are you a rock? How is the game going? I hope it is as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Congratulations. Wow, congratulations. In line with our previous announcement regarding the ongoing promotion, here is the result in full. Are you gay? From Dink Dunk. Subject. Gay. Are you gay? Please, I would like to keep this proposal as a top secret and delete it if you are not interested. To get back to me if you are interested for details as regards to the transfer of 24,500. We're playing the Stanley Parable. Help me make friends. I don't have any friends. Oh, that's sad. Dear narrator, appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is why I'm eager. Yes, I think that's just going to repeat on certain things. So, it's the office. In previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter that I left the phone as long as I did because yeah. The cargo lift. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. This cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after the early version we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. Oh my goodness, this is so big. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color they had pulled. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. The game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Return to menu. Escape menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and Wade thought it was complete, but decided to abandon it and change it shortly before launch. Oh my goodness. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Elevator. There's like so much to do and see. There's an on-off switch that way, so let's go down this way. And I think that was that other room. So we'll go in there first. Narration outtake. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game, roughly 3 sets of times over 2 years of development. These are clips from the early takes that were not used in the final
They're
game.
throwing a surprise party for him, for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
Alright, so it looks like we're going back upstairs to go and press the exit. Up we go. I mean, the on-off that we could see. So there's the Stanley Parable.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
I let time choose for me. Sometimes I have to begin again.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's actually enter the door on the left now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright. Take it out passive aggressively on other co-workers. Resent co-workers for not supporting you more. Oh man! He doesn't want us going in the broom closet anymore.
Coming to a
obviously.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh. Oh man, that poor panda! Does it say business strategy? Wow. Stop. Do, 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 do. I was gonna say, I can hear the narrator, like, doing his little scat. I wonder if this is actually gonna go anywhere. I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. What happens if I press down? Yeah, so it doesn't seem like this is going anywhere. So let's continue this way and go back and go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
This is like in Portal 2 in the sleep place.
Feeling soothed
And it's like,
and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly
go and
walked
stare
forward
at the
into
art.
the opened
You should now feel
passageway.
mentally invigorated. Let's go. Let's go down. Let's go downtown. Let's go to the downtown. Let's go to the downtown. Well, let's go now to the mind control.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I mean, these all say offline, so... Wonder what happens if we go down. anything happens. No, apparently not. Let's go over here to the facility power. And it says mind control status offline, so mind controls idle awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So that means we have to push yes.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After
Yes,
they kept
I
you
did.
enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yep,
Oh, Stanley,
definitely.
I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
There's a door
Mere
here.
moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in
Yeah,
this
hi
place
Sharky. Welcome.
is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice? Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Well, let's put another ending down. And another death count. So we have 4 deaths and 9 endings.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Extreme bathrooms time.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So let's go down. Yep, I did. I got the bathroom open.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yeah, I've already done the escape one before.
This mind control facility, it was
And now I'm going to go back and press
it couldn't be
the
true.
off button.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in
Pirate.
someone else's control?
That one up there
Never.
says pirate.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Where's the 4? Is this plus 5? Yeah, that's 1 and 2. Here perhaps? Yep. 4. Oops. Let's go back down and press 3. There's 2 and 1, so we need to find 3. There's 3. Over here? 3. Two and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's press 5 and see if that does everything. 5 over here. Yeah, it is. And 5. Nope, nothing. Okay. Well, let's go here. There's no other way I can go, I believe. I think this is it. So if we press...
And when at last he found the source of the room's power,
press off.
blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, that's nice. Achievement unlocked. Beat the game. Nice. So that was my 10th ending, I believe. And yet...
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
So, on the catwalk, wait before going up into this place. So I think if we...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
What happens if we just wait here? Because we've been the escape way and we've been the mind control way. So what happens if we just wait? Like, is anything gonna happen? Where is this? Like waiting up here maybe?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't think this is gonna... Let's begin again. Yes, I have waited in Stanley's office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
No, we didn't. Let's begin again. No, I haven't.
The meeting room, yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
How do I get up on the desk? Oh, there we go. There we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag? No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Right, we'll just see for a minute if he's going to say anything else. Yeah, I hope the other option is better as well. So I'm going to count that as ending. Let's begin the game. Again. I'll do it again. The phone's ringing.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
We're going to do that other one in a minute. Let's just do all the computers. I don't know how I got up there before. Oh, there we go. I'm up there, but I'm a little... Oh, there we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Nice. It must keep going and going. I thought he said he was going to make it unbearable. It was like, nice. Mm-hmm. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Bottom. Stanley's idea of heaven is buttons to press. And then just get unpressed too. Bottom. Okay, let's begin again. Am I gonna go to heaven again? And begin again. Bottoms. Ah, here we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Woohoo! Welcome to the whiteboard ending. Thanks. So let's put another one down. We've got the whiteboard ending.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it advance. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
It's okay. Alright. Let's begin the game again. And I've just looked something up. So launch options. Then go to so it says launch options and then minus console option. Console. Let's try that.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That's the key what you're playing if you want to
Someone
open
was
it.
following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Okay, so options.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Got it.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
So it seems like, from what I can see, so I've just looked up thing, and there's 2 endings that we haven't got to. We've got to everything else. And they're not like proper endings. They're just like orange little extra sort of endings, like the same way that the broom closet was one, and the elevator that you get stuck in the boss's office. Like it's not an ending. Yeah.
This is the story of a...
Oops, I didn't mean to do that because now I'm going back to heaven. So it says, oh, in Steam. Yeah, I think I might need help, Sharky. Trying to get this cheating ending. There's like 2 other things. I need to change that back to... No, because it said to change the console to... No, what I have is right. So what if I press minus? It says to change the console to minus console in the launch options. Run the game and input sb_cheats1 in the console. This will teleport you to the serious room. Okay, well let's leave that one to the end. So the only other option here is the silent disco. So the secret disco. So it says to get onto the catwalk, to go to the boss's office, get onto the catwalk, and then it says wait before going up in display room and press the light bulb button.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Secret.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
So it says So you do the keypad, and then you get to the catwalk. So if you go to escape, you go to the museum. But it says on the other side, wait before going up in the display room and press the light bulb button. But like, I don't understand that
Stanley
part.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Because I assume, like, the light bulb button is through the mind control facility. So, do I need to wait here or do I need to wait there? Like, do I just wait here? Maybe.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
So Sharky says, to go through the escape way. And go to the place that the button you're pressing is in the start of the display ending. So, by display you mean museum, right?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, narrator.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I think I have to go this way.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Alright, I think the light bulb one is one of these ones from the start. Simulator. I cannot find the light bulb. I don't know where the light bulb one is. Okay. We're in the wrong spot. I didn't think we needed to go there. I am trying to go for a great insect. Hey, welcome to the chat. I am trying to get to the secret disco ending. So I've done all the other endings and I just got the secret disco ending and the
Oh, look at these two. How they wish
the
to
cheat
destroy
ending.
one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking...
Alright, let's begin again. So, I need to do the same thing I did before.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also, what man in the entrance hall?
When
Sure.
Stanley came to a set of two
Give
open
me a
doors,
spoiler.
he entered the door on his left.
I mean, I've played all these endings. I've got two left. I've got the secret disco one, which I'm about to go do, and then I've got the
Yet there was not a single person
the cheat
here
one.
either.
But yes, tell me a
Feeling
spoiler,
a wave
please.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hey, Nat. Okay, so go
Here's the
to the
door,
monitor
just go.
room. Yeah, that's where I'm going now, and press the buttons. Just don't go outside. Okay, let's see how we go. Just quickly check something. Yep. Ah. Zoom. Or I'm in circles in the monitor room. Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So yeah, this one says, the thing that Sharky sent me said, press every button, however, after pressing the last one, do not go on the elevator. Wait for 60 seconds and the doors will reopen. Press the light button, the button closest to the entrance, and the monitors will turn into disco lights. So what you're saying now is not to press anything, is that right? Morning, Weasleys, yes. Okay. Oh, press it? Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Oh,
Did he have the
yeah, okay.
strength
So press
to find
every
out?
button except after the last one, don't go in the elevator. Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each
And
bore the number
there's
of an employee in the
someone over
building,
there somewhere.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
So I still have to press the elevator button, right? I just don't go into the elevator. Press every button, however, after pressing the last one, do not go into the elevator. So I still have to press the last one.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah. Thank you. Let's look for Stanley's, which is over there somewhere. 427. Oh, 27, there we are. Two seven is fine. Right, thank you. And then I press the light bulb button again, is that right? Yay! Thank you!
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life
Nice.
in someone else's
Nice. I
control.
was just like sitting there, like dancing, like
It was
woo!
unthinkable, wasn't it?
Thank you, Great
Was it
Insect,
even
for the help.
possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Sweet. So now there's only one more left.
But here was the proof.
So
The heart
let's
of the
just
operation.
go
Controls
up
labeled with
here
emotions.
and press
Happy or
off.
sad or content. Walking,
Yeah,
eating,
I was
working,
secret discoing
all
as
of it
well.
monitored and
Thank you for
commanded
the
from
help.
this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Right, I'm gonna press
For he
off. So the only other one I have left is the cheat. So I'm just gonna quickly put the cheat codes and stuff in that I need to do while this is loading. So I'm just gonna mute for a minute.
black
Alright, let's try it in a second when we're loaded. This should be the final one that we need. And then we'll have completed all the endings.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
So if we type in underscore cheese 1.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find. I looked at many, many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables.
It's a
I
very
honestly don't know.
serious
The
table.
specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games.
Serious
Outside of this room, I might be more
business.
tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of.
Now we're in the room where it
100 billion
happened.
trillion
The
years
room where it
standing
happened.
here in the serious room. Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go.
This is serious business. Let's do it again.
Whoa! Did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room.
Infinity years.
I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by
I'm
this
not.
crippling
Literally, this
punishment.
is the best
As well you
punishment
should be.
of my
It's the most
life.
serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
I'm trying. Let's see if we can get it up again. SB underscore cheats 1. We'll see what happens.
Still no
Oh
effect.
man.
The problem is clearly the serious room. It isn't serious enough. That's on me, Stanley. I apologize.
You
I'm
should
going to the store to look
apologize.
through more tables. Hopefully I find one that conveys how wrong what you're doing is. Now, where did I put those notes?
Oh man. Begin the game again. Let's go. We've got the. Yep. That's the last ending. So let me now also put the face punch. Nice.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
This is so weird. Apparently this is the face punch texture change.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes, it's very it's very
Yet
very
there was not a
eye.
single
Wow.
person here either.
Very eye hurty.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Aha,
office, hoping
yes.
he might find an answer there.
Let's go in the broom
Stanley
cupboard.
stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
And I think that's all. So according to this flowchart that I'm now looking at, so
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason
we've
to
done
still be here.
heaven, we've got the whiteboard ending, we've got the serious ending. This is now the face punch
It
texture
was
change.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting
We
in
got the
broom closet.
reluctant
He wasn't even doing
ending
anything.
by
At
closing the
least
door
if
in
there was something
Stanley's
to interact
office.
with, he'd be justified in some way.
We climbed out
As
the
it is,
window,
he's literally just
and we got
standing
the
there
song,
doing
and we
sweet
also got the
FA.
voiceover option. Then we've been in the broom closet, which we're currently in again now.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
And
Well,
then we
Please
went
offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
under the mat ending, I think so. Then we've got the insane ending
You
by
do
going down the
realize there's no
staircase.
choice or anything in here,
We got the
right?
escape pod
If I'd
ending
said
by going
Stanley
through the
walked
museum.
past the broom closet,
Then
then
we got
shouldn't
the
have had a
elevator
reason
end,
for
like
exploring it to find
mini
out.
thing.
And it
Then
didn't
we
even
got the
occur to
secret
me
disco
because
ending.
literally
We got the
this
museum
closet is of
ending. We got the
absolutely
bomb
no
ending by
significance to the
turning
story
on the power.
whatsoever.
And we
I
got the
never would
life
have thought
ending
to
by
mention
turning
it.
it off. And then when we went to the right, we got the confusion ending by going down the
Maybe to
maintenance
you this is somehow
in the
its
maintenance
own
door.
branch of
And
path.
then
Maybe when
no,
you
the
want to
only
talk
ending
about
we
this with
haven't
your
got is
friend,
playing
you'll
the
say,
kid game for
Oh,
4 hours.
did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
So yeah, we got the confusion ending by going down the elevator. And then we
Stanley
got the
was
death
treated
ending by
hardly
jumping
really
off
stupid.
the
He
cargo
probably only
thing.
got the job because of a family connection.
Then we
That's how
got the
stupid he
space
is.
ending
That
by
or the
going through the
drug
red
money.
door.
Also,
We got the
Stanley's addicted
games
to
ending
drugs and
by
hookers.
doing the baby game. But we didn't get the art ending because we didn't
Well, I've
play
come
it
to
for
a very
4
definite
hours.
conclusion about what's going on
And
right
the
now.
phone, we
You're
got the
dead.
work ending by
You got to this
answering the
broom closet,
phone, and then we got the
explored it a
choice
bit,
ending
and we're just
by
about to leave because there's nothing
unplugging
here.
the phone. So
When a
the only
physical
one
malady of some
that we
sort
haven't
shut
got
down your central
is
nervous
the art
system,
ending
and you
because I
collapsed on
didn't
the
play that
table.
game for 4 hours.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone
So according to
nearby
this
so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins
chart,
to decompose.
I've gotten everything but that kitten,
Hello?
so that's
Anyone
fine.
who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your
So I think
countless
that's all.
human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Ah, second player. It's
But
good to
yeah,
have you on
so
board. I guarantee
I know
you can't
he
do
keeps
any worse than
going.
the person
I'm
who
waiting
came
for him to
before you.
like.
You too? Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the
I'm at
best.
the mercy of
Alright,
an
well I
entire
think
species of
that is
invalids.
it. We've
Perhaps there's a monkey near. Coming to a
gotten
staircase, Stanley walked
everything.
upstairs to his boss's
Let's
office.
go and have a look what the boss's office looks like in this face punch. Oh, that looks bad. Let's see if I can. No, I can't open the toilet door. But can I open this one over here? No, that's locked too, so that's fine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
2845.
indication of any human life. Shocked,
2,
unraveled, Stanley wondered in
8,
disbelief who
4,
orchestrated this. What
5.
dark secret? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to
This
just
is
let the narrator
one of my
talk.
favorite audios.
That kind of
When I
anxiety
interrupt
wasn't
him.
healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calm New Age music. I'm so calm now.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Alright, well, this is weird, but okay. Well, that's it. Thanks everyone for joining the stream. Thank you, Great Insect and Sharky, for helping me on the couple of bits that I got stuck on at the end. And apart from the art ending, which you get for playing the baby game for 4 hours, I have fully completed and gotten all the other endings. So thanks for joining us on this stream. And we will see you in the next one. And yeah. Alright, thanks guys. See ya.